Drive on Mama, buckle up. Andrea TV here from driveonmama.com, coming to you to just give you some things I have found working as a Doordash driver. I have been a full-time Doordash driver / Uber Eats driver / Instacart used to be driver for 2 full years now, and we are going to do a Sunday night dinner shift. And as the shift prolongs, I'm going to give you some tips I have found if you plan on doing this part-time or full-time that can help you make the most money. What I have learned on a Sunday night, it was advertised on the app that it was going to be a $2.50 peak pay from 5:30 to 7:29. I get down here at 5:45 to my market on my avenue, and there is no peak pay. So they felt, DoorDash, that they didn't need to because there was going to be enough people out and or not enough orders to warrant it. So I took the first order given. $6.75 going 1.1 miles. Let's go get some birria tacos. Off that first order, the customer tipped $10. Thank you, Mr. Customer. So we were paid $12.75. And before we decided on which block we were going to park at, we received our next order. 13 and change going 4.6 miles. And if it's a large order program, meaning the subtotal $100 or more, if I knew the peak pay was still on and that there was going to be many orders, I may have declined that, only because that drop off is going into the suburby part where there's not going to be any more restaurants around, and that area they tip, but they don't tip percentages. If you find a neighborhood that tips percentages more than dollar amounts, you are going to come out with more money. Just as an example, it's definitely $100 or more, but in that drop-off zone, they would typically tip $8, $10. Think that's great, but certain areas, they don't even bother to back out the suggested. They just click on the 10, 15, or 20, and that is it. So you can get a tip of $18.77 or $14.25. You see what I'm saying? It adds up over the course of a shift. So another tip, working as a DoorDash driver, the busiest times also bring out the most people. So you may want to go to a restaurant or an area where it is not as many dashers. Just because that restaurant, if it's slow during the week, on the weekends it's going to get more orders. I didn't go to the main block because I already know the parking enforcement circles that block because that's where all of the dashes are. So for the weekends, I've learned to be on the outskirts where it's not as many people and you get the most orders. Let's hope it's ready and let's go.
And just to clarify, when I say go on the outskirts, I mean the restaurants on the outskirts. You still need to be close to a restaurant. At least in my market and every market I've worked, the closer you are to the restaurant, the better your chance of getting an order going to that restaurant. They do filter out and you don't have to be sitting in front of one, but during the dinner rush hours, especially on a Sunday night, you want to be as close to the restaurants as possible. And the restaurants that have tablecloths, if possible, and not fast food. But we are actually at McDonald's. That last order, they did not tip the dollar amount. It was a percentage, and our final payout was $29.24. Thank you, Mr. Customer. And we took this McDonald's because it's going to lead us back to the avenue where there are other restaurants where we should be able to get another order right away. And this is going to leave us essentially with a $40 hour. Let's go get the Mickey. Okay, that $7 remained the same, and it was going to a hotel, and it was handed to me, and they met me right at the lobby door. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I always get nervous when it's handed to me and they come out to me, for claiming that they didn't get the food. But I believe he looked like an honest gentleman. And within a minute, we received our next 2 orders, $8.25 for 2.6 miles, picking up some Thai food, and then an additional $7.25 for an additional 1.8 miles, picking up some salads. Let's go. Okay, those last 2 orders, both of them went up. The first one went up to $10.25, I believe, and the second to $10.05. And then I drove all the way back to the avenue and didn't get anything. And then drove to another hot spot and didn't get anything. And what I forgot, which is an unofficial thing, but it's, in my experience, it's real. If you make too much too quick, they slow you down. I wasn't getting anything. So instead of me keeping the whole one dash like I wanted to, I ended that dash and started a new one. And within 2 minutes, my next order, $7.25, 2.2 miles. So you can only do that if you are top dash or have dash anytime or dash now. because if I had scheduled and I wasn't top dasher, when I ended that dash, it would be over and it would tell me it's not busy, or I would have to schedule for a later time. So that's one of the perks, and the only perk, but it's huge. I would have still been sitting there with no order, but let's go get some cookies. And that last order went up to $8.50, and you can tell it is the end of the dinner shift. That last order was for cookies. People wanted dessert. And now my next order, $8.25, 3.3 miles, going to 7-Eleven, also picking up cookies. Yeah, I need glasses. It was for ice cream sandwiches and Nutty Buddies. Well, that last customer just really appreciates the drivers. They tipped $10. That went up to $14 for some ice cream sandwiches and Nutty Buddies. And I'm grateful and appreciative. We have our last order for the dinner shift, $6.25 going 1.3 miles. This will not go up because $6.75 is the hidden tip indicator in my market. Let's just hope it's okay. As expected, it did not go up. And I said if we got a McDonald's order, I would take it because I need to go to the restaurant before they close the lobby at 9 o'clock. And it is 8:57. We got one, $4.25, 3. Well, we took that last order knowing that it was a possibility that it was a no tip. It was a no tip. Not the way I wanted to end the night, but we had a goal. We wanted to reach $100, and in 3.5 hours, we were able to do it. So, working as a Doordash dasher, you have to learn when to fold them. On Sunday nights, it dies down about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we are done for the night. And I wish you large tips, no waits, and short distances. Drive on, mama.